Once upon a time, in a bustling village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young man named Daniel. He was known for his sharp mind and great potential, but he often found himself distracted by fleeting pleasures. His dreams of becoming a renowned scholar and adventurer were vivid, but he lacked the discipline and motivation to chase them. Days would pass, and instead of studying or honing his skills, Daniel would spend hours in the village square, watching entertainers and losing himself in idle chatter. One day, an old traveler arrived in the village. He was a man of few words, dressed in simple clothes, but his eyes radiated wisdom. Daniel, curious about this man, approached him and struck up a conversation. "Tell me, old man," Daniel asked, "how do you stay on course when distractions are all around?" The old traveler smiled and said, "You are like a boat with no anchor, young one. You drift wherever the wind takes you. Self-discipline is your anchor, and motivation is the wind that will guide you to your destination. Without one, the other is useless." Intrigued but still confused, Daniel asked the traveler to elaborate. The old man offered Daniel a challenge. "Meet me at the base of the mountain tomorrow at dawn. If you wish to learn, you must be there before the sun rises." Daniel agreed, though he wasn't used to waking early or committing to a schedule. That evening, he stayed up late again, indulging in the usual distractions. The next morning, when the rooster crowed, Daniel groggily opened his eyes, saw the sun already rising, and groaned. He had missed the meeting. Frustrated with himself, he shrugged it off and went back to bed. Days passed, and every morning, Daniel missed his chance to meet the old traveler. He could feel the guilt gnawing at him, but he couldn't seem to break the cycle. One evening, as he sat alone under a tree, reflecting on his failure, the old traveler approached him again. "You seek motivation, but motivation is not always there," the traveler said. "It is fickle like the wind. Discipline is what will get you out of bed when motivation is nowhere to be found." Daniel realized what the traveler meant. He had been relying solely on fleeting bursts of motivation to get things done, and when that motivation faded, so did his efforts. The traveler continued, "Motivation can inspire you to start, but discipline keeps you going when the path becomes difficult." The next morning, Daniel forced himself out of bed before dawn. His body screamed for more rest, but he pushed through. He arrived at the base of the mountain where the traveler was waiting. The old man smiled approvingly. "You have taken the first step toward mastering yourself." Together, they began their ascent up the mountain. It was a difficult climb, and several times Daniel wanted to turn back. His legs burned, his heart raced, and he doubted he could continue. The traveler, noticing his struggle, said, "This is where discipline matters most. When the path is hard and your body and mind want to give up, it is discipline that will push you forward." Step by step, Daniel persevered. He focused not on the entire climb, but on each small step. Hours passed, and finally, they reached the peak. From the top, Daniel could see the vast world below, the village, the rivers, and the distant horizon where the sky met the land. It was breathtaking. The traveler stood beside him and said, "Remember this feeling. This is what you are working for, the view from the top. Every goal you set, every dream you have, requires you to climb a mountain. Some days, the climb will be easy and motivation will carry you. But on most days, the climb will be hard, and only discipline will see you through." Over time, Daniel adopted this lesson into his life. He woke early, trained his mind, and pursued his studies with newfound dedication. He became known not just for his potential, but for his determination and perseverance. While others still lingered in the village square, distracted by the same old entertainments, Daniel moved closer to his dreams with each passing day. Years later, when Daniel had become a renowned scholar and adventurer, he often reflected on the wisdom of the old traveler. The man had taught him that motivation is like a spark. It ignites the fire of action. But without discipline, that fire would quickly burn out. Discipline, like steady fuel, keeps the fire alive, even when the winds of motivation die down. And so, Daniel lived his life climbing one mountain after another, knowing that success wasn't just about reaching the summit, but about mastering the art of the climb itself.